Hi, welcome to episode 30, Roman numerals, part 1. So we've already kind of learned about Roman numerals, and I'll do a quick review here. So like Roman numerals, say we're in the key of C, then if we spell ourselves a C scale, and then we take all these as the roots of the chord, and then we add in, say, we make all the thirds of each chord be a third up in the scale. And then we make all the fifths of those chords be a fifth up from each one of those notes in the scale. Then what we have is this series of triads. In our triads, we name after their roots a C chord, a D minor chord, a E minor chord, an F chord, a G chord, a A minor chord, a B diminished chord, and a C chord. And no matter what key you're in, you can have this Roman numeral version. We like to use uppercase Roman numerals for major chords, lowercase for minor chords, and then lowercase with a degree sign for diminished chords. This relationship holds no matter what key you're in. The quality of the triads always goes major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished, and then back to major for the tonic. And we actually name these chords the exact same thing we do with the scale degree. So we'll say the tonic triad, because that's the tonic scale degree, right? And maybe you remember 5 is the dominant scale degree, so we call this the dominant triad. Or we call this one the leading tone triad, right? And then back to the tonic triad. And maybe you remember supertonic triad, mediant triad, subdominant triad, submediant triad. I'm not going to write that all out. The whole usefulness of Roman numerals is that instead of getting lost in the exact notes in every chord, you can more easily tell what their relationship is to one another. You can, no matter what scale you're in, if you put scale degrees 1, 3, and 5 together, you're going to spell this super stable tonic triad. Like for instance, let's say we're in the key of A flat. A flat just happens to be my favorite key. I'm not really sure why. But if we're in A flat and we spell all our triads, I'm using a key signature. We talked about key signatures a few episodes ago. If that looks weird to you, go back. Go back, learn it. Key signatures, you gotta know them. But I'm putting all the roots of the triads in blue, all the thirds in green, all the fifths in pink, just because I feel colorful. And even though these are all going to be different chords than the ones in the key of C, like we have an A flat chord, a B flat minor chord, a C minor chord, a D flat chord, an E flat chord, an F minor chord, a G diminished chord, and back to an A flat chord. They're still going to have the exact same Roman numerals. That's what Roman numerals do. They go to a level of abstractness where it doesn't matter what actual notes there are or chords, it's what role the chords play in the key. And an A flat chord plays the same role in the key of A flat that a C does in the key of C. But if you put a C chord in A flat, it would be different, right? It would be a different role. I don't know, I just thought of this role thing. Let's do it with another key. I'll go ahead and make a whole new key signature here. Let's just do it in the key of B. Fat crabs go down and eat. No, and. Yeah, 5 sharps, B. In the key of B, if we make all our triads, I'll do it with the same color coding. We got a B with a major third, a C sharp with a minor third, and a D sharp with a minor third, an E with a major third, an F sharp with a major third, a G sharp with a minor third, an A sharp with a minor third, and a B the major third. And then we have these fifths here. And I know this is getting old. But guess what? Oh man, it's still a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, as long as we're in the right key. I forgot to do that over here too. It's only in the key of A flat. You gotta say what key you're in when you do this. Do as I say, not as I do. And again, we could name these their normal names. B, a C sharp minor chord, D sharp minor, E, F sharp, G sharp minor, A sharp diminished, B. But they all serve the same function. Why is that so useful? Why is that such a big deal? Why do we have to learn it? It's so you can make meaningful and deep comparisons between different songs. Like, let's take this A flat scale. If you take a song like this one, this song is called Earth Angel. And it's by the Penguins.
Earth Angel, Earth Angel, will you
Right?
be mine?
It's in the key of A flat.
Darling dear, love you all the time.
And it has this chord progression.
Just a fool.
It has this chord progression. Let's see, how do I want to write this? I'll just do it all in this clip. It's in the key of A flat, and it has this repeating chord progression that starts with an A flat chord, and then it goes to an F minor chord, and then it goes to a D flat chord, and then it goes to an A flat chord. And then it goes back and repeats that over and over and over. And in the key of A flat, that's a 1 chord, a 6 chord, a 4 chord, and a 5 chord. If you play guitar, or probably anything, but especially guitar, and especially if you're like a rock or pop kind of world of musician, then you know this progression super well. Some people call it the 50s progression, because a lot of rock songs or pop songs are like this song we're listening to right now, Earth Angel. Songs from this era use it. And it is just a little chord progression that definitely predates this time. You might know it in Heart and Soul, that song people play, two people play on a piano. Although sometimes in Heart and Soul, instead of a 4 chord here, there's a 2 chord. It depends what version you have. And we'll get to that one day. A 2 chord and a 4 chord are such good buddies, they can kind of pass as each other. So the A flat chord, let's write in these thirds of these chords. There they are. And then let's write in the fifths of these chords. So cool, who cares, right? Like, what's the difference of just saying 1, 6, 4, 5 instead of just saying A flat, F minor, D flat, E flat? Who cares, right? Well, let's go to this other key of B, and let's find a song in the key of B. And it just so happens I got one queued up here. This song is True Blue by Madonna. Not this intro, though. I don't want to talk about the intro. While the intro goes, I'll write this really long key signature. Ooh, okay, here we go. Verses. Starting out with a B chord. Then it goes to a G sharp minor chord. Then it goes to an E chord. Then it goes to an F sharp chord. Then it repeats. Let's write the thirds of those chords. The B is a D sharp. G sharp has a B. The E is a G sharp. The F sharp has an A sharp. And then we get this F sharp and a D sharp and a B and a C sharp. Okay. Earth Angel, True Blue. True Blue has totally different chords, right? It has a B chord, a G sharp minor chord, an E chord, and an F sharp chord. None of those are the same as those. They're way different. If you think about them on the circle of fifths, they're pretty dang far apart. But if we look at the role those chords play, it's the same one. And hopefully you can kind of hear that. And hopefully when you hear that, you might think of other songs that have these same kind of progressions. There's a whole list of them. And like I said, if you want to explore this kind of thing, look up 50s progression. Just go search that on the internet anywhere, on YouTube, on wherever, and you'll find it. Or you can search it by 1, 6, 4, 5, just spell them out. Super common chord progression that gets used all the time. And by naming it by its Roman numerals, we're able to take instances of this chord progression in any key, A flat, B, whatever. You pick the key, there's going to be a song that does a 1, 6, 4, 5 in that key. And kind of the music theory approach to music is understanding similarities that are deeper than the surface of the music. That's part of the usefulness and the richness and the enjoyment of music theory, but part of the practicalness too. As a musician, the more fluent you are in the kind of things that happen in music, and the more you can understand the similarities between music from different styles and stuff like that, the more, I guess, the more powerful you become. It's like adds to your bag of tricks. Yeah. Usually these take 15 minutes, but I said all I wanted to say. Have a good time on your day that it is, wherever you are. Goodbye.